This is the top Facebook advertising formula for 2023. Today, we're going to talk about over $12.56 million in profits. And more specifically, we're going to cover the audience targeting strategy that we use to 3.65x, making relationships works profit from 92K a month to 336K per month. The three-phase scaling methodology that we use to take internet profits account to the next level and produced $267,700.30 in net profit of quarter one of 2023, and how we use post IDs to increase Ascent Empowerment CTRs by 35.4%. Finally, the lead qualifying process that we use to drive $11,956,883.67 in profits. And at Client Accelerators, we've spent over $150 million on ads across Facebook, YouTube, Google, TikTok, and even some other platforms. We are a paid advertising agency who specializes in running ads for industry experts, high-ticket coaches, and consultants. We've worked with some of the best industry experts in the game, including Brandon Bouchard, Stephen Georgi, Traffic and Funnels, Russell Brunson, Russ Ruffino, Douglas James, Anik Singhal, and a lot more notable names than that. So let's dive into the audience targeting strategy that we use to 3.65x her profit from 92K a month to 336K per month. So how do we get here? This is the audience picking strategy. So make sure that the audiences that you're targeting on Facebook are specific enough for the audiences to contain your target market, but also broad enough for scaling. When you're looking for audiences, you not only want to be concerned with the potential profits that could come, but also how long that those profits will actually last. You could choose an audience that has a size of around 500,000 to a million people and produce some quick profits. However, the downside is that those audiences will not last very long. And so additionally, you could go for a broad audience that has a size of 10 million or more, but then you risk muddying up your conversions like these pigs lying in the mud over here and risking very low quality leads, which causes even more problems down the funnel all the way to your fulfillment. So the sweet spot that we found for picking audiences is actually 2 million to around 5 million people. So if you're looking up relevant key terms and you find that your audience is around 2 to 5 million people, that is a solid audience that you could run with. And so find 5 to 10 of these audiences by researching Facebook's targetable interests, or you can even create lookalike audiences using your leads, book calls, and or your sales data from your CRM, and these will all work very well for you. All right, next up, we have the three-phase scaling methodology. Now that we know how to pick out our audiences, how do we actually scale up our campaigns? This is the methodology that we use to take internet profits account to the next level and produce $267,700.30 in net profit of quarter one of 2023. Phase one is the creative testing process. So our creative team actually scripted his new creatives. The client gave us the raw footage, and then our video team actually handled the post-production. Then we tested those creatives to the best performing audiences in the account and quickly found our winners within the first 7 to 14 days. So as we quickly found our winners and actually cut out our losers, we replaced the budget we cut with the ads that were working the best. When we cut out a loser, let's say I was spending $25 per day, we would then up the budget for our winning campaigns up $25 per day to replace that budget. So it's really important to monitor your new ads closely in the beginning, especially because you do not know whether or not they're going to work, which once they go 2 to 3x out of KPI, you need to then cut them. So like I said, we can quickly get your budget over to your best performers. Now, next up, we have phase two, which is the audience testing phase. Once we have identified our winning creatives, it actually makes finding the right audiences much simpler. Now we know with confidence that the creatives work, so it gives us an edge when trying to find more audiences because we now have a control variable that we're introducing into our experiments. So we took our top creatives from phase one and paired them with the new and untested audiences in phase two. Following the same cadence of cutting out the audiences that went 2 to 3x out of KPI And then ideally, you really want to find as many winning audiences as possible, because this really makes it a lot easier to scale the ad account when you're looking to scale. And then finally, on the topic of scaling, phase 3 is actually the CBO scale campaign. So once we have identified our top creatives and top audiences from phase 1 and phase 2, we then throw the best pairs into a CBO campaign. This is where 80% of our budget is going to go, because we know with a high level of certainty that those combinations of ads and audiences work. And so this helps us create a self-perpetuating model that we can continue to run and get consistent results for clients. Additionally, we're spending 80% on our scale campaigns, and then we're putting 20% of our budget to testing so that we can continue to find new winning creatives and audiences while we have 80% of the budget going towards getting us results. Like I said, this ultimately gives us a media buying model that we can leverage long term and see good results consistently and healthily scale our clients' accounts. This is how we use post IDs to increase Ascent Empowerment CTRs by 35.4%. Now that we have your audiences figured out, and now that you know how to scale the ad account, let's talk about some little tips and strategies that you can use along the way to make your performance even better. A big costly mistake that we see a lot of advertisers doing is not using their post ID with the ad creatives. Each ad that you actually run on Facebook has an associated post ID. So when you're creating your ad in the ads manager, you'll actually have the option to create an ad or use an existing post, just like you see on the screen here. Always select the option of using the existing post whenever possible so that you can accumulate the engagement for each post across multiple campaigns and audiences. So this is a little bit of what those posts can look like and the results that you can generate from these types of post ID ads. So as you can see here, this post here has gotten over 388 likes with 58 comments and 17 shares. This one's gotten over 1.6K likes, 227 comments, 151 shares. This one here has gotten 1,000 likes as well, 195 comments and 57 shares. By the looks of the comments in the engagement section of these ads, these look more like viral posts than they do actual advertisement, which really boosts up your credibility and makes people much more likely to actually click on your ads. And people were even commenting pictures of themselves in the comment section as well after a while, which is pretty crazy to see because, most of the time people are just leveraging text and saying, oh, cool post, dude. But these guys are actually super engaged, wanting to share more about themselves. And, they just really resonate with the ad enough to take the time out of their day to comment one of their favorite pictures of themselves. This is really cool because it ultimately helped to increase his CTRs from 2.57% to 3.48% for an increase of 35.4%, which is a significant uptick for the CTRs. All right, so now that we've talked about how to pick your audiences, how to scale up your campaigns, and even a little trick on how to increase your CTRs, let's talk about the lead qualifying process that we actually use to drive $11,956,883.67 in profits for Amped Local. So we use our third-party tracking platform called Hyros. Now, Hyros actually gives us the ability to create URL rules in their system. So based upon a qualifying question on the application page, we actually send traffic to unique URLs. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo, but I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like. So once users hit your application page, they're actually hit with questions about their actual financial resources and whether or not they actually have access to financial resources. Because if you're selling a high ticket program, you're going to need leads to have access to financial resources, period. So in a favorable situation, the lead answers that they do actually have the access to the financial resources. Those leads who answer favorably get sent to URL page number 1. And so the URL rule on that unique page actually tags them, and our Hyros system records that they are actually a qualified lead, just like this. So as you can see here with the test at test.com, the lead was tagged with the over 4,000 scheduler, clearly indicating to us internally that this is indeed a super qualified lead. So this actually happens for each individual lead that comes in. So the same process applies for our non-qualified leads, our marketing qualified leads, and our super qualified leads. You know, that's SQLs, not to be confused with the sales qualified leads. Now we can also filter our reports using these tags, which is extremely powerful. So we can go in here and we can go through any date range that we want, and we can also filter the leads with these specific tags. This allows us to see our cost per qualified booking per ad platform, and we can go into each individual campaign to see the cost per qualified booking, which is phenomenal. And we can also go all the way down to the ad level to see the cost per qualified booking. Next up, we can actually optimize our campaigns based upon the cost per qualified call as well. So instead of just doing and making optimizations based on cost per book call, we can actually make optimizations based on cost per qualified call, which is really, really powerful. So with these two top campaigns here, you know, this one's getting a $237.17 cost per qualified call. This one's getting $190.12 cost per qualified call. While these three down here are getting anywhere from $118 all the way to $145 cost per qualified call. You know, the optimizations become much simpler. We should definitely put some more budget towards these bottom three campaigns here, just based upon the cost per qualified booking. Now, our lead quality process makes it much simpler to bring in more highly qualified leads for our clients. In fact, in quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2022, out of 19,087 total book calls, we brought in 9,950 qualified bookings. Imagine what you could do with almost 10,000 qualified leads getting on the phone in just 6 months. Ultimately, this is the Facebook ad formula for 2023. And if you want to have massive success on Facebook, highly recommend using the 2 to 5 million audience size rule. Also leveraging our 3-phase scaling methodology that we discussed, and then using post IDs to accumulate engagement and make your posts look more like viral posts than actual advertisements. And finally, our lead qualifying process is going to be a prime needle mover for any of you high ticket coaches and consultants out there. And so this is going to equal more dollars in your pocket for 2023. For these clients, it meant $12,560,583.97 in theirs. So if you want to know how we can help you too, what you can do now is click on the link in the description. On the next page, you'll find a form that looks exactly like this. Fill out your information and choose a time that works best for you. We'll hop on a call to put together a strategy and see if we can actually help you scale up as well. Make sure to come prepared with all of your marketing data. We'll be doing a deep dive into your marketing strategy and providing you with clear action steps that you can take to make your marketing more profitable. Listen, you can pretty much install an entire marketing department with a senior media buyer, a junior media buyer, an account manager, and copywriters and videographers all at your disposal. So what are you waiting for? Click the link down in the description and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.